Hello. I've had to remake this twice now. I don't know why. Just can't record it. Also, my glasses are broken, and I don't know if they're gonna fall out of my face. Anyway, so today I want to talk about my favorite book of all time. If you can tell by the title, you already know. It's Dracula. Um, I know it's like really cliche because like look at me, and it's like you're gonna be like, oh yeah, well you know you like Dracula because like vampires and it's not. It's really actually. I mean, it's nothing really to do about the subject matter at all. Really, it's it's for me. It's something bigger than that. Like there there are other books that definitely would fit the criteria of why this is my favorite book, but I don't know. This one I'll explain. So there's a certain way of communicating when you're communicating to someone you love. There's something that I feel like we've lost as a society today that is truly kept encapsulated in Dracula, and it's something that is really just. I feel like it's a fragment of time that is now definitely lost. That's just sitting here for us to find. Um, it's really it's really not about, like I said, the subject matter of the book. It's not about the vampires. It's not about the mysteriousness of it, the mystery and the adventure of the book. Of course, it's a great book. It's a great adventure book. It's mysterious. It's cool. It's interesting. It keeps you turning the pages. Um, but for me, it's really just about being the most beautiful book I think I've ever read. With the most beautiful language and the most I am. Anybody that knows me, I think, knows that I'm a huge Hemingway fan. Love Ernest Hemingway. I love the language he uses. It's beautiful. Like it's, I mean, except for like the Old Man in the Sea. That's really an exception. I don't know what, it's a real oddball, but they're all pretty much surrounded by war. And I'm not really a big war person. I'm not a big um war movie watcher or war history lover or anything like that, but it really is like a love story. As much as people will say that Ernest Hemingway's books are very much just like war driven and they're most about war and this and that, and or they're about nothing. Like The Sun Also Rises. People say that's about nothing because they're just like, it's like the Seinfeld of books. It's just like they just go and they just do random stuff and there's not really any purpose to it. And it's like, but that also I think is a love story, and I think that one is especially a different type of love story because it's not really much about the girl that everyone's trying to get with that girl. I think he's really just in love with nature and in love with the place that he is in. He is always just describe the way he describes the Spanish countryside. The ride there and the ride back in France, and um, you can tell that there's really this love in it, but it doesn't quite match the way Dracula's love and beautiful words are really used. It doesn't match because, like I said, it's not very much. I mean, obviously, in other books of his, there's a lot of other Hemingway books, and they are about love directly with another woman, not another woman, sorry, with a woman and a man, and it is a love story, but it has aspects of what I'm about to say about Dracula, where it's this language and it's this longing and it's this love. But for me, I think Hemingway, a lot of the love is like too far fast paced. I feel like it's like, especially in can't think of Farewell to Ar. No, it wasn't. Maybe it's To Whom the Bell Is Told. Don't remember, but um he meets this woman and like it's the second day he met her and he's like already like, oh, I love you. You know what I mean? Like I feel like it's rushed a lot, but I love the way, like, there's a really really good one in oh man, the one that's like very much like his life. If you know Hemingway, there's one that's very much like his life, and he's an Italian medic who's American there, and he meets the woman. And her name is Catherine something. But he says to her, she says, he says, oh well, then why don't you want to leave? And she says something like, you are my belief, you're my religion, you are the only thing that I believe in, and you are everything to me. And it's stuff like that that's like, wow, I just think the ways in the scenario, in the certain situations that they're in when they're said is like very profound and beautiful. But enough of Hemingway, it's off topic, and I know, I'm sorry, don't mean to go on a tangent. But Dracula, I think, really gives us an insight to the way that communication with people you loved and people in general was done. If you read Dracula, you know that it's set in a letter slash journal type of style. It's just journal entries from each character. It's letters from character to character. It's really these first person perspectives. You're never really getting, I don't think at all, a third person perspective. It's always these first person accounts, and what they really get into their mind, and you really get to know what it kind of feels like to be in love with this person, and to want to be with this person, or want to be in this situation, or want to get out of this situation. And like, it's a much different feeling than we do now. When people want to talk about something, there's not really a use of journals anymore. It's more you just, you FaceTime your friend, call your friend, oh my god, yeah, da, da, da. Or you even just go on social media and just post about it. Like, no one really cares, like, ooh. As much as people want to think that people care, they don't really care. I mean, you'll watch it, of course, I'll watch it, and I'll be like, oh my god, well, that's terrible. But like, it's not going to affect your day, But these, and you can flip to any page inside this book, and you'll find something. You'll find something of Mina to Jonathan, and it's the words that she uses, and this longing. And I think that's really the point I'm trying to get to, is this longing for other people that I believe is what we're really missing as a society today. Because essentially, not even really essentially, 100%, the longing for people, the longing for the people in your life that you love, to talk to them and see them and know what's going on in their life, is gone. It's 1000% gone. There's not even really a doubt in my mind that there's anybody that feels that way anymore, because we have this hyper interconnection that is like something that I believe personally that we should never, as humanity, ever have developed to the point of. It's really the greatest tragedy of this entire of human civilization, is the gain, I guess, of this interconnectedness that we never had before. There's a lot of things we can gain from having this interconnectedness, but now it just feels like, at least for me, and when it comes to news also and things like that, it feels so overwhelming. You have constant, up-to-date news of everything, whether good or bad, mostly bad, because it's like people like to report on. Bad things happening in the entire world. Everything is instantaneous. The second something happens, it's blasted in your face, and it's extremely overwhelming. And it's just a faster, more, like I said, overwhelming way of life. These phones have really, and I don't mean to sound like an old person when I say this, but the phones have really, really, ruined it for us. And let me get back to the book. The book, because the reason why I'm saying all this is because this book really exemplifies like how far we've really came from this disconnected society, which is, in my opinion, I prefer this, because you would write to somebody who's lives far away, someone that lives across the world, and maybe you met in Europe and you went back to America, or you met in America, they went back to Europe, or whatever it is, and I believe that's where the actual like foundation of like this one true love that we consistently go about trying to find throughout our entire existence. Some of us, some people don't mind as much, but I think that some people really latch on to that idea of this one true love, and I think that that's something of the past, and I think that that's a structure that was only really around because of the fact that there was this longing for this one person. Like, if you had, imagine you had met somebody, maybe someone that you love right now, boyfriend, girlfriend, and they had went away, and the only way you can contact them was through letters. There was no FaceTime, no texting, no calling, just letters. That longing and that waiting and that wanting for that person, those memories, and then just remembering those experiences you had together, knowing that you may not have them again because you cannot contact this person that easily, or waiting to contact them weeks just to hear back from them. It really creates this feeling that people once referred to and once, you know, knew and thought of as that one true love. And, that's why I think that's very been just watered down. And I think it's going to be pretty much impossible to find somebody like that, because if the more I realize is that you can kind of fall in love with anybody. You know, I'm sorry my glasses keep falling, but you can really fall in love with anybody. You spend enough time with someone that you like and you enjoy, and you can fall in love with them. And I think that there's this really unfair um, expectation for there only to be one person. And it was really because of this. This person moves away and you don't care about anybody else because this one person, they left you. Not even that they left you. I mean, we can even scale it down to a smaller. Someone that lives near you. You meet them in person, and at the end of the day, you go home. They go home, and people used to operate only really within business hours. It was like in the morning to the evening, you go home, and if you're together, maybe you have dinner. You sleep together. You wake up, and you go on with your day, and you're not able to contact them throughout the day if you're not with each other. And that gap creates that longing and that love and that feeling that I really want to be with this person all the time, because you can't be. But now that we can be essentially with the person at all times, it adds this pretty much, it's honestly really, really makes me very uneasy. The fact that I'm expected to answer, expected to respond in the outside of business hours time that used to be really just dedicated to yourself, and your family and the people in your home. And now you have to dedicate that to everybody in the world that you have contact with. It's all, the phone in general is just like a whole other universe. I have Instagram friends. I have like an Instagram like persona to sit, so to speak. There's not really like, it's almost like a different person. You know what I mean? Like, people don't view you as you, and it's like it's a whole other universe. So I have to split my life almost between two different lives: my real life, my online presence life. And it's like it creates this stress and this pressure and this thing that honestly pushes people away from each other. At least for me, I feel as though I've been pushed away from people because I don't want this bombardment of, I have to text you and I have to answer, and no matter what time of day it is, because I always have a form of communication. And I think that it really, like I said, this isn't really about the book as much as it is about what it really says about today. And what I really got from it is like, we are so connected that we've become so disconnected. And like I said, it's one of in my opinion, one of the greatest tragedies of humanity in a long time, and it's sadly only gonna get worse. And I'm bad with it myself. I have timers on my apps for the day, and I'll click 15 minutes, cause like, oh, your time's up, and I'm like, oh, I need 15 more minutes. I need to text people. I need to talk to people, and it's like, I feel like this world of like always having to be available and always having to text people, it just breaks down our society to, it's to this hyper connected, um almost machine-like routine. And I don't know, I think that it really ruined love in the most real sense. I think it ruined love, and it ruined beautiful. I mean, you don't hear anybody talk about anybody like they do in Dracula and Hemingway, and they talk about, oh, your eyes are like starlight and whatever, you know, for something random. But nobody speaks to each other like that anymore. You know, it's like, hey, I'm just trying to come over and chill, watch a movie. Like, it's not. It's lost this beauty that used to be in love. You know, love used to have this real beauty to it, and now it's just can find love at any corner, and it makes it dilutes it makes it watered down. It's too saturated. I don't know. And I think that Dracula really stands as a reminder of what once was and what should be when it comes to human communication. I guess that's really the best way to put it. And I think that's why it's so beautiful, because I'm longing for this experience, you know, longing to. I honestly, maybe it's not a longing; it's more of I miss it without ever having experienced it. It's like I'm mourning the loss of this way of communication and this way that people used to talk and the way that people used to live and long for each other. And yeah, I don't know. Like I said, it's not really about the book. It's not really about Dracula. For me, it's my favorite because it shows me what can be and what should be and what we're missing and what I could have if I just cut these things out of my life, you know, cut these electronics and these distractions and have more real human connection. It can be something beautiful.